here we go, Master Roxy. Where is my master? The ending was great, right? Yeah, Rudeus all like, I want to meet my master again, my Roxy. And as I always say, guys, 100 likes, right? Subscribe, and share the video, guys. If you finally get more views, I can finally unbox my Roxy, right? Because I have issues. I have so many figures that I never unbox, right? And Roxy's got here, one here with Marlin or whatever, right? You know, but it gotta be a little bit more expensive than that. But anyway, great episode. Really good episode, right? It's what I love so much for. We have here, of course, burning Roxy's. Sorry, Aerith hair. I mean, of course, I'm all about Roxy. I'm in my Roxy here. Yeah, I'm his way. Freud is sleeping here. He finally burns Aerith's hair, right? And the scene is so great, right? Because the thing that I love so much potentially is just this kind of scene here when they burn her Aerith's hair, then, because it shows you how he's a vulnerable character, right? He's like basically the best character development ever, right? Rudeus is like the best written protagonist because he's like a real person. First of all, he would have died in the fight, right? That's Susanne, of course, Yokobayashi, saved him, right? You know, one of my all-time favorite tomboys is Sasha. Yeah, she saves him. He would have died otherwise there, right? Because he just didn't want to fight anymore. Which in like almost every other anime, the main character will probably overcome, right? But Rudeus doesn't really overcome it, so that helps, right? That's great. And later on, he is crying into the Panzer, right? Trying to push Panzer on. And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna like burn her hair and try to finally overcome and forget about Aerith, right? And GHISLAINE and so on, and try to meet, I don't know, sleep with Sarah or whatever, right? And that's why he always feels like the most realistic main character ever. And a lot of people hate Rudeus, right? But they probably hate him because he's a perv. But otherwise, probably hate him because he's not an idealistic character, right? You know, I always liked Marvel more than DC Comics, for example, because Marvel's character, like Spider-Man, you know, Peter Parker or whatever, they're more flawed, right? Where I felt in DC, almost all of them are just perfect. Especially, of course, Superman, Clark Kent, he's just perfect, right? And, you know, The Flash is perfect in the way. They're basically perfect characters, and then usually they have some really absurd weakness, right? Oh, he can't fight yellow or whatever, yeah. Where in Marvel, the character felt more real, right? They had real issues. They were like people that happened to have powers and had issues with life and so on. And that always felt better, I think. Spider-Man, of course, the best example of that. And, you know, Rudy reminds me of that, right? But even on a higher level, of course, where I feel that he's a really well-written character with real life issues and has actually outgrown them, right? Has, you know, character development is so good, right? In Mushoko. That's what I think is like a great anime, really. But it really is because he's like a vulnerable character too, if anything, right? Yeah, you feel how Rudeus as a character is so vulnerable. Like we see here with the fire, right? Like you feel that he is really like hurt. He's, you know, sad since last season, and now he meets this new waifu's, right? Sarah and Susanne, and he's like, maybe I can date Sarah 600 2.0 or something. You know what I mean? And he's finally like, okay, and then. But in the end, though, it's more about Roxy, right? In the end, he's like, I gotta meet my master again, my Roxy, right? He's like, I wanna meet my little Roxy, my master, and, you know, find her again, right? That's kind of the main thing in the end there. And I guess Jenny comes to terms with he has to save his mom and so on, I don't know. Jenny speaking, you know, it's just like, oh, whatever. So that's a great character development, right? Because when he's lying in his bed crying earlier before he was fighting the bears, he kind of regressed, I guess, right? Back to his old self. Kind of like a Hikamoro Taku guy. He's living in his like mom's basement ever, right? You know, he's watching hentai and, you know, never leaving the house basically, right? Yeah. Never wanna go outside and so on, right? Kind of goes back to that, you know, behavior. And then he basically gave up in the fight. He's like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna die, right? And Susanne said that the message she saved him. Otherwise, he probably would have died there, right? And that's just, again, a big part of the show. But I think that's why I like it too, right? Because he goes back and forth, right? He's not a perfect character. He does have a character development, but he actually regresses back again and then forth again, right? And some people think that's bad, right? Oh, but he can't just go back and forth. No, that's why he's a well-written character, because he actually has that. Oh yeah, he develops, you know, because he's a better person. But then because of Aerith dumping him, right, he goes back again, right? He was a better person, and then back and forth, right? And it actually feels really real, right? He feels like the most realistic main character ever in a sense, right? Because, you know, he goes back and forth. He's not a static character, right? And I think in most other animes, and other shows too, but especially animes, I feel that the character is very, very straight line here, right? Yes, they will have development. Some of them have better, than some have worse or whatever, but they never really go back. You know what I mean? For example, this is the most makes me angry now, talk about Sundred, but I love Noelle, right? Noelle, extremely well written character, right? In Black Clover, she's like the best. She's like the best main character shonen girl, right? Or massively better than Sakura, Lucy, or whatever, or even Namida. Yeah, much better. But while I love Noelle, she's a very written character, absolutely. She only progresses forward. You know what I mean? She only gets better. Yeah, there's not a single scene I think where Noelle is like goes back to her previous self and gets weaker again. I don't think it never happens. Like currently in the manga, she gets into conflict with her new enemy. She's just like, I will defeat you, woman. You know, she's overcome. So not spoiler, but she's like, I will defeat you. You know, she's overcomes, right? But also you could argue that she turned into Asta. She's like, mother, lady. You could argue for that, but still, right? While her writing is really good, and I actually, again, think she probably has the best development of any shonen female character, right? From like the main cast, absolutely. But still, again, she only goes forward, right? Never goes back. Rudeus is a better written character because he goes forward, but sometimes he regresses back massively, right? And that's why he feels so real, because he's like both. He actually had issues in a sense. So that's the, again, you know, Rudy, best freaking protagonist ever. But otherwise, it's a good episode, right? We introduced the new characters. In reaction part, I was very frustrated for a bit because I couldn't figure out who Suzanne's voice actor was. I recognize so much, and she's one of my favorite actors, Yuko Kobayashi. But she wasn't really doing her typical voice. And then I finally figured out she's doing Testament, right, in Guilty Gear. That's the voice I'm hearing. It's her Testament, her gender bender male voice. Because she usually voices males or cross-dress character. She's Maria Hollick, is all right. She does a lot of cross-dressers, a lot of Takanokos, you know, gender bender characters. But she wasn't really doing her anime voice, she was doing her game voice. I was like, I recognize it, but it's not the same as she usually does. Yeah, so I was like, I finally figured it out. But yeah, her as Suzanne I like, right? Again, I like a character. Sarah is obviously her best friend. I mean, I'm anime only, but they seem to be almost lovers. No, but she's obviously her bestie, right? Sarah and Suzanne are knit tight, right? The other guys I feel gonna die. I kept saying the friendship part. Yeah, the other three guys feels like, here's some random friends we have. Yeah, they're probably gonna die, right? Yeah, they feel they have very low survivability chance. But I'm sure Sarah sort of fall in love with Rudy. She really goes off as another, you know, Ariston, Sundere, you know, not as angry, but somewhat Sundere. No, I accept you, but I don't like you or anything. Yeah, it's very much like that, right? So they might smash, maybe. I feel Rudy is gonna rebound on her, right? He's a rebound Sundere, so that's probably gonna happen. He might fail though to get laid, but he's gonna try, right? With her probably. What more happened? I don't know. We can learn a little bit about the world, I guess. I always say this thing in the reaction part. I always say this thing that the clerk lady, they have typically called guild right request. The clerks all had to be oppies, but always. Yeah, the end of it is nice, little bit too. We saw mostly Roxy, right? But yeah, showing the character, you know, showing mom, dad, and so on. That's pretty good too, because when you think about it, this is episode 1, right? Last week we had episode 0. But this is actually episode 1 with Rudy. So the last bit, you know, playing the opening, I believe it is, the song, right? There was kind of like a recap, he's crying, the fire's burning. But you also kind of have that, like, this is kind of a recap of season 1, right? Not all the things, not so much for GHISLAINE or Ares, it's mostly like the other characters. Yeah, kind of like a recap with the other friends that he, you know, not the Ares team, but the other team, yeah. Not, except all the Ares flashbacks, yeah. But it's interesting because it gave us a kind of episode 1 recap, you know, in kind of like the ending epilogue bit. So I think it worked well as a recap as well, right? You know, kind of just, you know, remember these scenes again. It's episode 1 after what, 2 years, right? It's been a long time, yeah, Jesus Christ. But anyway, guys, as a good episode, please like, share the video, right? As a potential fan, I am, right? You know, so press the like button, right? 100 likes, open up Roxy. I can finally have my Roxy here, right? I say it every time, but I have issues, right? You know, I have some issue with unboxing figures. I over here like 30 figures standing there, right? And they're all in like the box, right? You know, I can Luffy and Nami and Todoroki, Steer, Nico Robin, Jöder Bonnie, Norre Vivi. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Togata, Toga-chan, and so on. Yeah, and all this stuff, right? And I have a massive issue unboxing stuff. But I'm a collector, right? So I tend to have. I probably have seriously 80% of my figures still unboxed, probably. Something less than that, yeah, seriously. I have issues, man. But I guess you guys have a great day.